Appleseed is a Japanese cyberpunk style adaptation of the manga by the same name that has been created by Masamune Shiro. After World War III, the General Government Control Office constructs an experimental city known as Olympus. It is inhabited by humans, cyborgs, and bioroids. Bioroids are generally engineered beings created to serve mankind. They oversee all the administration duties of Olympus. Olympus was meant to be a euphorian society, but all for some, it feels like a cage. Sharon Mathalos, an Olympus City police officer, is one of the many who feel that way due to the exposure of corruption. It is up to a policewoman and her cybernetic partner to try to stop the terrorists from taking over the city. I love this anime. I love this anime a lot. Now, this anime was made in 1988, and by being made at the early stage, I'm going to say it's very ahead of its time. But at the same time, manga was known by pushing a lot of its material out with 100% accuracy, even though it was some anime that they made was a little bit rough around the edges. But I'm going to have to say, Appleseed is without a doubt a masterpiece in my opinion. People don't talk about it as much today because by being made in 1988, you had so many great animes that came out around that time. Like this is North Star, you had the Anonymous, most very well crafted, and even to this day still highly hyped up Akira. So Appleseed kind of came out at the wrong time without it shining in its own perspective. But still, even though watching it today, I highly recommend people that love old animes with a passion to not pass this one up. The anime picks up pretty quickly when it comes to the style of the story, when it comes to the pacing, when it comes to the cinematography, the dialogue, you name it. Even in the beginning premise of you knowing what is going on when you watch this anime. Now, manga entertainment is known for this. When it comes to you watching their movies or their shows or just their advertisements, they don't really like to drag when it comes to you being pulled into their material. They like to make you be aware of what door you're opening when it comes to their productivity. They have done that with X. I remember when I seen X, and when I seen that naked woman, it like 2 minutes into the film, I noticed that this is going to be something that I should not be checking out, but I was traumatically satisfied. I'm saying this because Appleseed starts off where a police officer has like a dream where his wife just smiles at him and you can tell by her face that she's in a good mood, but at the same time something is not right, and then she just commits suicide. She just jumps off the cliff, and then he just wakes up traumatically, like, just tarnished of what he just experienced in his dream. But it's all reality as he keeps having these same type of nightmares over and over and over and over again, just to let you know what the criminology of the anime is about. For a 1988 anime, this anime is beautiful, very well done, very well executed when it comes to the art style of the anime, the mechs, the cybernetically enhanced humans, and the bioroids, and just the environment itself. This anime reminds me, this is the anime of what would happen if Gundam and Sailor Moon fold in together, and then all of a sudden you had Akira just get on top of the sundae. That's basically what Appleseed is. And not to mention the gore, like the blood, and there's so much blood and gore and violence in this anime, and I was a little worried because the way how wonderfully done this anime is when it comes to the quality and just how the specs of the characters look, I was worried about how the violence is going to look. Was it going to look too fake? I mean, this is a fictional anime, but what I mean is it going to stand out to the point where it like the violence was not in the place of what the anime should stand for? But honestly, they did a pretty good job. I did not have a problem with it at all, especially when they end up trying to attack the terrorists, and they end up giving them an ambush, which I thought was satisfying. I was like, man, this is pretty intense. So the animation quality, it did not stand out for me to the point where I was disappointed. I thought it was well done and well executed. Talked about the action, and let's talk about the music. I love the cybernetic, like the cyberpunk, old style 1980s punk music soundtrack of this anime. Not one song, not one track. Even the ending was great. Great little jazzy tune to it, and the introduction as well. I love the beginning of the starting point of the anime when you are in the main menu, if you have the DVD. This is a tongue-in-cheek moment, but in a good way, because A$AP Rocky, I know A$AP Rocky, and A$AP Rocky, here's the thing with A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky, I know he's into anime. He has to be into anime, because the song Jody, the track that he made, now I know where he got the beat from. But that just shows you how good the soundtrack is on this anime. The story is pretty good. The story is a little bit the same as mostly generic animes when it comes to cyborgs and humans. Humans try to confront the cyborgs whenever they do bad things, and then all of a sudden all war and chaos breaks loose. But the story actually picks up pretty creative. It's a pretty actual creative story when it comes to the cyborgs, the bioroids, the androids, the humans, and when it comes to the government being corrupted and being exposed to the to inhuman behavior of kidnapping humans. And not to spoil too much, but the story focuses that on one character who has been traumatically tarnished towards the government, and he wants to seek havoc towards the human life by letting people know and letting the cyborgs know that humans are not great people. Now, there's always been comparison to other sides of other people when it comes to you may have it all, you may be better, but with this character, he is aware of just how corrupted human beings are from his own experience, so he teams up with the bioroids to start his own war and his own revolution. I thought that was pretty good, and I believed every single part of it. Not one part stood out for me, and I thought that was great. Even the main terrorist enemy, AJ Sebastian. Now with him, I kind of wish he'd done more with his character, but that's not enough for me to put down the anime to numb it down. It just should be mentioned because what I got was satisfied. He was smart, he was aware, and at the same time, he didn't do anything that was irrational. He was a threat, and at the same time, people feared him, and I understood that because he could hack things. He was a deadly human being. He can manipulate other machines and mechs and bioroids to team up to fight human beings as well. He was a smart guy, and when he was alone, he was a very tough guy to take down. That's what I like about a main enemy, and he was not the main enemy, honestly. I talked about the bad guys, and I talked about the side bad guy characters. Now I talk about the good guys. Now all the characters on here played a part in to the anime very well. Not one character stood out for me to the point where I was like, why they're in this? But all of them stood well for me. All of them pulled their weight, especially the main two, Dunin Newt and Biarios, the main two protagonists that are partners to try to defeat the bad guys and the terrorists. I love them both. I thought both of them did pretty well in this anime, especially Biarios. I love Biarios' character. He's like a big muscular version of Bugs Bunny, but he's very humorous. He's very heartwarming, and at the same time, he is a brute, man. He is good at wielding guns. So is Dunin. But one thing I noticed about Dunin and Biarios, Dunin, she is basically like the running gun female that likes to do things in her own way. But Biarios, he is intelligent. He uses cybernetic certain hacking abilities to know when enemies are around and just when people need help. And at the same time, without weapons, he is very strong. Like he can literally pick up cars and stuff. He is a strong son of a bitch. So I like to say that he is Dunin's muscle. Adding it to the fights, I forgot to mention that the cyborgs and bioroids do more than that when it comes to this anime, because I realized that with animes like this that has like a war going on and try to sell their differences through combat, they also do this with conversation and just communicating with the opposite side of the people that they're trying to take down, just to let them know their point of view of why they're doing this. And I was bought into it, but I was bought into it with the bioroids because by me being human, I've experienced a lot of things that they talk about on this anime that we need to address today when it comes to cruelty, when it comes to corruption, when it comes to lies, and just when it comes to us not sticking together, especially in this day and age. So I like to say that Appleseed is ahead of its time, especially now, and it's more relatable. So by the bioroids explaining to them of just how fucked up they are and just how we were created by humans so we can take place of them, so things can be in a better opposition. I did not mind that, but at the same time I couldn't afford it because by me being human, I did not want the bioroids to win, which is what made me want to talk about the end of the anime. The ending of the anime was very intense. I love the ending of this anime. The threat was very imposing, very threatening, and at the same time, I thought that Dune and Biarios, I thought it was a chance for them. I thought they was going to lose. I really thought that it was a chance for them to die. So it was intense. I was pulled in a lot, and at the same time, even after the anime ended, I wanted more of it. And we do have more of the Appleseed. We have mangas, we have a series, we have a few more movies. So we got more of the material. But what I mean is, I kind of want them to have a continuation of the Appleseed movie from 1988. We actually have that, but it's a fan-made short film that looks like a lot like Mad Max in a way, and I thought that was pretty good. I thought it was very entertaining, but that just shows you how big Appleseed is when it comes to them not talking about it too much when it comes, you know, in the anime genre, but it should be brought up and it should be addressed. There's certain anime critics and anime fans today that want to watch an old anime and just be lived up to those old times in the 1980s. I had a great time watching this anime, and I loved it a lot. It gave me those good vibes again, even though I was born in 1990. I know I keep saying 80s. I want to go back to those times again, but I mean as a child, as a young person, because man, me watching old animes back then brings me those legacies and those legendary titles back, because these animes today, they're good, they're special, but I feel like if it's not Attack on Titan, the creativity of anime is not there anymore. So I'm saying that to say this: if you want an anime that is a legendary masterpiece, you have got to watch Appleseed. They have an actual movie of it on YouTube that I'm going to be sending the link in the description box for you guys to check out. You do not want to miss this out, I guarantee you, and I cannot wait to watch this again. I'm going to have to give Appleseed an A+. These are one of the animes that people should not just talk about, but at the same time put in the genre of comparing certain animes and just bringing up animes that is known from back then. People like to bring up Perfect Blue, people like to bring up Ninja Scroll, people like to bring up Fist of the North Star, and just you know what's that other one? Demon City Shinjuku. What was that other anime? I'm sorry for cheating. Something Twilight of the Dark Master. So it's just, you know, with Appleseed, I feel like that should be in one of those lists as well, because you're doing the anime a disservice by not bringing that up. I feel like when it comes to anime comparing to sports, I think that this is basically the LeBron James of anime. I don't really watch basketball, so it's like, I don't know if that was a good comparison or a bad comparison, but I hear so much about him, I might as well use him as a reference. But at the same time, I appreciate you guys watching my video. Please stay tuned for more of my upcoming videos and upcoming anime reviews headed your way. This is Hugo, your critic teacher, and you guys have a good day.